Another piecewise function that's within ALEKS that a few people have been having questions about. So this is number 9 from section 2.7. So for this problem, they want you to graph this piecewise function, which is made up of 3 separate pieces. So that's one big thing to notice. The next thing to notice is what do those graphs look like? So I'm thinking about their basic graphs. So the first one is looking at a function where it's like z of x equals -4. That's a constant function. So I'm going to draw a line, and it's going to be a horizontal line and going through -4, and you can plot just whatever point you want. So there we go. That's the graph that's talking about. Now we do have to cut this line because it says it only looks like that when our x values are between -4 and -2. So if you look, -4 is right here. We're going to have to do a cut right here. And then at -2, we're also going to have to do a cut. And we're only going to keep this little portion right between -4 and -2. Because again, it says it looks like this graph only for x's between -4 and -2. So to do that cut, I'm going to push on the scissor button, and I'm going to cut it at -4. That's the x value it's talking about. And it happens to be down at -4 because that's what the constant function is. So I'm going to plot that point so you can see it's right there. The other point is going to be -2, -4. And again, I'm getting these from these x values. It said we needed to be between -4 and -2. So the other cut will happen when x is -2 and still when y is -4 because it's a constant function. So I'm going to plot that point. And so then I want to do my erasing. And again, I'm going to erase everything on the left side. I'm going to erase everything on the right side. And so I only want to keep that segment. And also notice that it has strictly less than. So that means we're not going to include those endpoints. So I'm going to put open circles on both of those endpoints. And so there's that piece. So I have 2 other pieces to go. For the next piece, we're looking at z of x equals x. Well, that's the identity function. That goes through 0, 0, and it has just the slope up 1 over 1. So I'm going to sketch that. I'm going to get my line tool again, and I know I'm at 0, 0, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And so that's the line. But again, it only says it looks like that between -2 and 3, where x's are -2 and 3. So -2 is here. So we're going to kind of have to put a point here to cut. And then between 3, which happens to be right here, we'll cut. So if it's not clear on the graph where you're actually doing that cut, think about plugging these values in. So if I take -2 and plug into this function, that's at a -2. So -2, -2 will be a point to cut at. -2, -2, I'm going to plot that point, which is right where we see it. So then the other one is if you plug a 3 in. It's not that exciting because the identity functions, you plug a 3 in, you get a 3. That's going to be where our other cut will be. So at 3, and 3. I'm going to plot that point. So then I'm going to do my erasing, and I know I only want to look like this when my x's live right between -2 and 3. So right between -2 and 3, this little segment. So this is the little diagonal piece I want. So I'm going to erase that, and I also have to erase that because it was cut by that other function part. And I'm going to erase that. And then for the endpoints, it wants to include -2, so that's going to be a little closed circle when x was -2, and it's going to be an open circle when x is 3, because again, it doesn't have that equal to sign. So the last thing I need is to graph this function, which is a quadratic. It's a parabola, that U shape. That negative is making me flip upside down. It's a reflection over the x-axis. And I'm going to shift upward 9. So I'm going to grab my parabola tool. Here it is. I'm going to place the vertex. So again, I'm not at 0, 0 anymore. I'm being shifted all the way up 9. I'm reflecting down. There's no stretch or anything to it, so I just click that. But so to place another point, kind of the easiest thing to do is plug in a number like 1 and see where you are. Or you could plug in the 3 because we're going to have to do that anyway because 3 is going to be our cutoff point. So if I take 3 and plug it in, 3 squared is 9. That's going to be a -9 then, plus 9 is 0. So that's getting me the point 3, 0, which is right there. Okay, so I just plotted that point, 3, 0. So there's my parabola, but I don't want the entire parabola. I only want it to look like that when my x values are greater than 3. So if x is 3 here, I really have 2 sections. I have the big upside down U, and then I have this little part that looks almost like a line. It's not a line though, so be very careful when you're graphing it. So here we go. We're going to do some erasing, and it's all based off of the point 3, 0, because that's what our x value is that it's talking about. So I'm going to put 3, and again, I know that it's 0, because if I plug 3 into this function, negative 3 squared plus 9 would become a 0. And so I'm going to get my eraser out, and I'm going to erase all of that because I only want it when x's are bigger than 3. Over here, where this is all yellow, that's all where our x values are less than 3. So I'm going to erase that. And then it does have a little equal to, so I'm going to do my little closed circle, and there we go. And so let's check, see that we're right. And we got it! Woohoo! Yay! If you're still struggling or have any questions, please make sure you send me an email. Good luck with this.